Hi everyone, it's Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer, and I am so delighted to be sharing with you today. Today is the 12th day of the 12th month, and in addition to that, we're going to be talking about angels, one of my favorite subjects. But before we do that, let's just briefly go over what we're experiencing with the 1212 portal. This is an incredible outpouring of energy and beautiful light. And I want you all to be able to just open your hearts to receive this unconditional energy. This happens every year at this time. The 12/12 date signifies that we are entering this period of energy transfusion, which is uplifting and more powerful than at many other times during the year. It is also a time when you may be feeling a little raw emotionally, because the energy of unconditional love is designed to bring up that which is no longer serving you for the purpose of you being able to lovingly release it. That's all that you're supposed to be doing, is lovingly releasing this energy. Although sometimes it can not feel that way. So be gentle with yourselves, love yourselves, and know you're really in a good place. You have the angels to help you. They are more than willing to help you, and they are perfectly able to help you. Now, here's something that I want you to know before we go into our topic for today about the angels. First of all, you are never going to be taking them away from something more important. The angels are omnipresent. This means that they are able to be in more than one place at the same time. It's not possible for you to take them away from someone or something that's more important. So call on the angels whenever you desire. I call on them constantly. It is never going to mean that someone else will not receive the help that they need. And the angels will bring so much joy in your life. So please make sure that you are calling on the angels as often as you desire. Now, the other thing that I want you to know is that we have a symbiotic relationship with the angels. So that means that as the angels help you, and just as we are on journeys of completion, we're growing closer in our knowledge and our understanding of the fullness of God. That's what the physical life is all about. It's overcoming challenges that are holding us back from understanding our magnificence. And as we begin to understand the fullness of the energetic being that we are, we grow closer to God. So we're on journeys to grow closer to God. The angels are also on a similar journey. They are just do not enter into physical form generally, sometimes, rarely, but sometimes they do for a specific reason. But generally, they stay in the energetic form, but they too are growing in their knowledge and wisdom of God. So when they help us, it helps them. That is the way that they grow. They grow by helping us, by encountering these situations. We grow by going through challenges and also by helping others. They grow by helping us move through our difficulties. So, why should I ask the angels for help? Let's find out while all they're going to share with us about this very important and incredibly rich subject. Dear ones, in your do-it-yourself culture, you are to be commended for your ingenuity. But we offer that commendation with caution. Although we are enormously proud of your desire to take charge, because taking charge equals taking ownership of and responsibility for your creation, we don't want you to assume that you could neither ask for help or receive that help as needed. We want you to look at DIY as fabulous, innovative, and powerful. However, we want you to see the DIY life plus angelic help as uber fabulous, next level innovative, and supremely powerful. No one is saying you're incapable. We're just suggesting that life will become magnificent when you learn to use all of the tools in your toolbox and all of the colors in your box of crayons. Life as you is monochromatic, a study in grays. Life with the angels is lived in technicolor with vibrancy and joy. Let me tell you, when I first started this journey in my 20s, I hardly ever asked the angels and knew very little about them. Now I ask the angels for everything, and my life is so much more joyous, so much more fun, and does have so much more vibrancy and color to it. So let's look at why. Why should you ask the angels? Why isn't this creating a dependency? And why are you stronger with their assistance than when you attempt to solve the problem on your own? First, you must understand the basic premise, where two or more are gathered in His name. There's strength in numbers or in energetic signatures, and the whole is greater than the parts. As one individual, you can produce a degree of energy. This is true for every individual, no matter what vibrational level they're occupying. Now, we need to take a moment to understand that they are not saying that when you are dismal and gloomy, the Debbie Downer in the room, that your energy expands as much as when you come in as Susie Sunshine. We have all been around those people. The Debbie Downer, yeah, it feels like dark clouds are seeping out from that person, but the Susie Sunshine, you just feel radiant and uplifted, and it feels as though that energy expands forever, because uplifted energy is a stronger frequency and does go further. A degree of energy always exists that is you, and that doesn't matter what vibration. You still have that energy. When you add another energetic signature, the energy immediately doubles. But when both of you are committed to the same end result, something magical happens. When you combine your energy and add a shared desire, the desire becomes a third energetic presence that acts as an attractor beam. This is really, really cool, and I want you to understand that third energy, that desire energy, becomes its own force. A stream of energy so powerful that it immediately begins drawing to itself all things that are like itself. The energy of desire supersedes the energy of each individual because desire is attached to emotion, which is attached to the heart and the Christed energy of creation. We are in a huge outpouring of unconditional love, which is the Christ energy. This is a great time to get excited about things, that big projects that you want to manifest. There is a tremendous amount of creative energy, and we know this throughout history. This is a time of miracles. Why? Because there is more unconditional love energy out there to call upon, and miracles are simply the end desire of your the manifestation of your desire. So it can happen more easily when there is more of this unconditional energy pouring forth. Therefore, when you crafted your desire, you started the manifestation process. But when you bring in other like-minded individuals, you've accelerated your manifestation process by an infinite amount. You're not just one or two. Now you become infinite. In this particular example, you would only be limited by what you believed was possible. However, limiting beliefs can put the brakes on your ability to experience the abundance you seek. This is why we suggest you partner with the angels. It is almost impossible to find a human being who doesn't have at least an unconscious limiting belief. Many people have been very good about defeating their conscious limiting beliefs, but we still have that subconscious, unconscious running in the background that may sabotage that manifestation ability. So this is why we suggest you partner with the angels. When you join energetically with the angels, you're aligning with the divine mind, which means the absolute trust in belief in unlimited possibility. Suddenly your wishful, hope-so thinking has expanded into absolutely, without a doubt, an unlimited possibility thinking. The angels don't wonder, they know. You can attain this with another highly advanced being in the physical realm. But even if you should find this rare individual, it's not advisable to leave the angels out of the equation. Most beings on the physical plane believe in the illusion of limitations, whether consciously or unconsciously. So they will unwittingly stifle your manifestation with their need to be practical or realistic. And we need to remember that because we are in a physical reality, there is a degree of practicality that's necessary. If your manifestation is not ready to form in the physical, and you need to do something in the meantime, you need to be aware of the fact that you need to do something in the meantime. So there is an element of practicality, but it should not be running your life. But unfortunately, for most people, it does. It is the determining factor. The angels, on the other hand, see the bigger picture, and they have specific strengths. They have areas in which they are perfect to help. So they're able to compensate for your weaknesses while never falling victim to the belief that it just can't happen. Now, when we talk about them having specific strengths, don't worry that you don't know who to call on. Just ask for the angel that helps with, and then whatever it is that is the issue that you're trying to resolve. You don't have to get out your angel dictionary or your angel books and, if I don't call on the right angel, it won't work. Let go of all of that. The angels are wise, loving beings. They're not tricksters. They won't tell you, I'm sorry you failed the test, so we're not going to help you. Just say, angel who's good with mechanics, please come forward and help me now. Or relationships, or whatever it is, finding a job, taking a test, whatever it is, call on the angel, ask the angel that has the ability to help you deal with that situation to come forward. Remember, they want to help you. So it's easy. Now let's address the second question. Aren't you creating a dependency when you rely on angelic assistance? This was a tough one for me in the beginning. The long and short answer is no. It's not possible to create a dependency which is an unhealthy relationship with a being that is in its entirety unconditional love. Dependency denotes strong and weak, capable and incapable, but angelic assistance is not offered because you are weak or incapable. It's offered because you are loved, and there is the difference. we can get into relationships with other people that can be considered dependency relationships, because you may perceive them as stronger than you are or weaker than you are. But that is not why the angels are willing to help you. They want to help you. They are enthusiastic about helping you because you are loved, not because you bring anything to the table or because you're lacking anything. There is no outstanding agenda, no payback or reward system, and no need to curry favor. Their love cannot be bought or sold. It simply is, and it will remain that way for all eternity, because the angels, as beings of God, are beings of unconditional love. You will be given assistance whether you are bad or good, happy or sad, but you'll make their assistance more effective if you're joyfully working toward a loving resolution. Extra important. When you allow yourself to move joyfully toward the most loving resolution, the most loving outcome, you make it so much easier for the angels to assist you. First of all, you put yourself in a higher vibration where it's easier for you to communicate with them, and you are flowing more easily with the universal answer, so you're not putting up roadblocks to their assistance. In order for you to really get the most, though, out of working with the angels, you've got to understand the workings of the universe. First of all, angels operate at the highest end of the vibrational scale in the atmosphere of purest love. Although they can assist you while you're in darkness, they do not descend vibrationally to do so. I want you to get the image of an angel sitting on a cloud and you're down here on earth. This is not true. I'm just giving you a visual. It's as though they reach their hand down and they pull you up to their cloud. That's what I mean when I say they don't descend vibrationally. They pull you up. They don't go down into the darkness where you're sitting in your pity party. They stay in their pure high vibration and pull you into their love and out of your darkness. So, if you desire the greatest amount of angelic intervention possible in your life, move higher on the vibrational scale. Even if the situation appears to be dark and dismal, you don't have to stay lost in the dark. Please understand that you always have a choice. Even in the darkest, deepest, most fearful time, you can choose to look at what's going right. You can find something that is worth reviewing, that is good in your situation. That's what I'm talking about when I'm saying every circumstance you encounter contains within it the seeds of joy, spaces of gratitude, and reasons why you can hope. It will be there. You will have to look for it, but you can find it. Grab onto each one of these moments and use them to pull yourself higher. The abler you are to elevate your vibration, the easier it will be for you to receive angelic assistance. When you're consciously seeking what's right instead of grumbling about what's wrong, you'll be able to receive guidance each and every time. I guarantee you. But you've got to do your part and do your best to raise your vibration. This is not because the angels will only help you if you're at a certain level, but because the higher your frequency, the easier the interaction becomes. It is all about you being able to follow their direction, to receive their help. You'll be much more capable of following their gentle promptings when you're looking for what's right instead of wallowing in grief as you grumble about all that's wrong. Take it from someone who used to spend a great deal of their life complaining about what was wrong, you don't get anywhere from that place. The minute you start looking with gratitude on all that is right is when you really begin manifesting change in your life, positive change, change that you can welcome. The angels are always actively assisting you, but when you've raised your vibration, you've placed yourself in the position to take advantage of their assistance. You've become their partner instead of the child that doesn't know any better. And we must be so very aware that we want to know as much as we possibly can about the energetic realm so that we can use it effectively. We do not want to be children that don't know any better. We want to be childlike and come with wonder, but we don't want to be foolish and not learn as much as we possibly can about the angelic realm. This brings us to the final question. Why are you stronger with angelic assistance? Or why am I not good enough all by myself? And to this we must say, you are more than enough. You are always more than enough. The trouble is you don't believe in it. Believe it, and at times you actively block this truth. When you partner with angels, you take what you already are, which is more than enough, and you become a superhero who is more than enough to the umpteenth power. Stop trying to do it on your own. Be the superhero you've always wanted to be. The assistance is available to you all of the time. The question should not be, why should I ask the angels for help? Rather, it should be, why in the world wouldn't I ask compassionate, loving, all-knowing beings to assist me on every occasion? You're not being made smaller by accepting help. You're expanding exponentially so you'll be able to help yourself, your loved ones, and all others as you are guided by God to do so. Please, we need the help of every person who is willing to put forth the energy into raising the vibration, the consciousness, and the love that's available here in the physical plane. Please call on the angels for help. Allow them to expand you into the biggest, brightest version of yourself. And then share that energetic vibration, that new expanded version of you with everyone as you are guided. As we all become more, everyone benefits. If we allow ourselves to become less, we all suffer. Please, partner with the angels and become more. If you are tired of feeling weak and powerless and you're ready to become your authentic self, who is powerful beyond measure, then you will drop the pretense, stop the false humility, and step into your power. A fully realized being understands that going solo is limiting and self-defeating. No matter how hard you try, going solo is never going to be as great as partnering with the angels. Being open to their assistance allows you to step into the powerful, authentic self you came here to be. And remember, it doesn't matter what physical form you chose to assume in this life. You still came to be your most powerful self. Whether you chose to come with a physical disability or a mental handicap or some other thing like that, you still chose to come and be the greatest version of that physical being. No one came to play small. It may appear that way, but I want to challenge you to become the greatest version of yourself instead of the smallest. If you've allowed yourself to get away with being small and staying in a state of self-pity, say yes to the angels and begin to grow. If you're ready to have a positive impact on the world, ask for assistance and follow the guidance of the angels. And remember, I have a wonderful class that I would love to share with all of you on my website, How to Communicate with Angels. If you are truly interested in learning how to communicate with them, invest in this teleclass. You will be so glad that you did. Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer, How to Communicate with Angels. Marcia, M-A-R-C-I-A, MarciaMartinTheHeartHealer.com. So let's take a look at all they've shared with us, remembering that we today are welcoming in that 1212 portal, that wide open gateway of unconditional love. And so it's an even more important time to call on the assistance of the angels. Our guides remind us that taking charge of and responsibility for our lives is a powerful and necessary choice. But part of that responsibility should be knowing when to ask for help. And the answer is always. Life with the angels is lived in technicolor with vibrancy and joy. But you will never understand truly the impact of that statement until you try. It took me a long time to get used to asking them for everything, but now that I do, it has changed my life tremendously. Let's also really get clear on that biblical phrase, for where two or more are gathered in His name, God is with us. When you join with other like-minded people, you not only increase the intensity of your desire, because every person does bring that degree of energy, but when both of you are committed to the same end result, that desire adds its own energy to your journey, and the desire is always more powerful than what you two brought separately, because desire is emotion-based, and emotions are the gas pedal. They accelerate your progress. Angels know God intimately and don't entertain that doubt about God's ability or willingness to bring your desires forth. So you're automatically doing better just if you can eliminate that, "Oh, I hope so." The angels never go there. They know so. They're no doubt partners. The partners that we all are seeking. If you ever want the perfect business partner, you want somebody that believes in you and your vision beyond a shadow of a doubt. Those are the angels. Also, you want somebody that can compensate for your weaknesses. Those are the angels. They are your perfect partner. Now, again, we have to look at this issue because I want to make sure everybody understands this. What about becoming dependent? Dependency is an unhealthy relationship, only possible if one party is seen as flawed or weak, while the other one is seen as powerful and mighty. But even though that could be true, looking at it from our perspective with the angels see us for who we truly are. They see our magnificence that we cannot. And they are not in it from a flawed viewpoint. They are unconditional love. They are coming to help us simply because they love us. They cannot be bribed. There's no currency or behavior requirement before that help is received. It's not a situation where they're ever going to say to you, "Oh, I know better," and you're too stupid to know better. That is not angelic intervention. That's something you created on the physical plane. That's your ego talking. So, Angels don't lower their vibration to help you. They stay in that high place. They don't get involved in ego battles or situations of any kind. When you consciously seek all that's right, you raise your vibration as well. You become more in tune with them and more able to receive the information, the guidance that they're sharing with you. So please do your best to look for that which is right and be grateful so that you can raise your vibration higher. And remember to stay flexible. Circumstances change, and you might have to use a stopgap measure because that's all that's available on the physical. Doesn't mean that you failed or the angels didn't deliver. It means they delivered what was available in the physical plane at this time until the greater, better solution could become available. Don't fall for the okie doke of I'm not strong enough to do this on my own, so I have to call on the angels for support. That's just silly. Unless you are benevolent, without an agenda, all-knowing, all-seeing, and without any ego attachments, you need the angels. The angels will always be able to give you a fresh perspective. Listen to your angels from your heart, and then decide, do I or don't I want to follow the advice or directions they've given me? Remember, you have free will. So you can still say, no, you know what, doesn't feel good to me. You're never going to be forced to follow their guidance. However, before you turn away from what they are offering, consider this truth. The angels are all-seeing, whereas we can only see our path that's directly in front of us. We can only see the obstacle, the mountain, or the challenge. We can't see what's on the other side unless we go to the angels and ask them to show us that vision. The angels see the victory that's waiting for us on the other side, and they're showing us how to get there more quickly. You are always being assisted by angels, but you have to be open to receiving their help. When you are more expanded vibrationally, when you are in that higher vibration of joy, of course you will be able to hear them and act on their direction more quickly and more skillfully. But I also want you to remember, the more that you allow yourself to be helped, the bigger you become, the more of your energy is overflowing onto your loved ones and into your world. So when you say yes to the angels, you are really saying yes to the ministry of helping others. If you are ready to help yourself first, you must begin with yourself. If you are ready to help yourself first and then reach out as guided to others, say yes to the help of the angels and get yourself used to being the superhero that can shoot out wonderful, loving energy to everyone you encounter. Now, star 2, if you have a story that you would like to share about the angels. If not, I want to share some things that have been a part of my life over these last 40 years of working with the angels and talking with them and journeying with them. And also, when I say the angels, I am referring to the energetic realm, the ascended masters, the archangels, the angels that are not archangels. I don't want to call them on a lower tier, but the less prominent angels. So archangels, angels, ascended masters, Jesus, my main man who leads me through the heart healing, the angel heart healing that I do, cannot do this work without the angels. Absolutely impossible for me to help you heal without angelic assistance. Again, I'm in a physical body, and even though I have done a lot of work eliminating my limiting beliefs, I still catch myself participating in them from time to time. So that's one of the reasons why I call on the angels consistently for everything. Star 2, if you want to add a story about your angels. Let's together commit to stop being falsely humble and pretending that we're not worthy of receiving, and instead begin asking for help for everything. Because going solo is limiting. You're only ever going to be strong in certain areas. Instead of being brought low by your weaknesses, partner with the angels and become more. Even if you are a Renaissance individual, and I'm not doubting that you could be, I guarantee you that you will be stronger in some areas than another. You may be able to dabble in many, many areas, but the angels will be able to increase your strengths so that you are strong in every area. Star 2, any questions? Okay, first I want to share a story. Even though Jesus is technically not in the part of the angelic community, I still have wonderful encounters with Jesus, and so I'm going to share this story with you because it was so impactful for me. And this is when I first started doing this work, this heart healing work. I had been working with Jesus personally for quite some time. I had to evolve enough so that I could be the conduit to this work. So it meant a lot of deep personal work. But when I first started working with others, Jesus used to come and pantomime things to me while I was working with other people so that I wouldn't forget, as this was still relatively new to me and I needed reminders. And so when I would be working with somebody and they would start telling me about perhaps a time when they had allowed their vibration to lower to help another person, or how they had hurt themselves to help others because they didn't understand that they didn't need to do this, Jesus would come and he would first begin plucking out his eye. And when he started this behavior, I was just like, oh, what's going on? Why are you doing this? I don't I don't know what's going on or quite how to react. And Jesus is a lot of fun. The angels, everybody, all of the helpers in the energetic realm, the ascended masters, the angels, all of them. Wonderful fun. So he's plucking out his eye and he's clearly quite amused with his own behavior. And I said, what are you doing? I don't understand. And he said, when I went to the blind man and gave him his sight, I did not go over to him, pluck out my eye and give him one of my eyes and say, oh, goody, now we both can see with one of our eyes. That would have been descending down to his level and believing that it was only possible for one of his eyes to become functional. He said, no, I brought him up to my high place where there were no limitations on his physical body and restored the sight in both of his eyes. And then he would saw off his leg and he would say to me, when I went to heal the man who was lame, and I was working on his leg, I did not saw off my own leg so that we could both have one good leg and be joyful that we had half. Instead, again, I brought him up to my high place and allowed his physical body to be restored to its fullness. Bring others up to your high place. Join the angels in their high place. Have access to all that is perfect in every way, just as you are. Add the element of completion by fully stepping into God's eternal love. You do not need to descend down into their darkness to help them. Pull them up into your love, and they will receive the gift if they are willing and ready. The other thing that Jesus used to do when people would say, "Oh, but I have to help, I have to help, I have to do this," immediately he would be on an ocean in a rowboat. And you would see the person trying to rescue this other person that had chosen to go down into the darkness. And they were two drowning men in the sea. Jesus would say, if you swim out to that other person where they are, if you try to reach them where they are and descend down into their darkness, you will become two drowning men in the sea. It will become impossible to be otherwise. Instead, bring them up to your high place. Row out to them in your boat of safety. And if they choose, they can climb into the boat. But you are in no danger of drowning or being pulled down into their darkness if they say no. Or if in desperation they reach out and try to grab that last bit of oxygen while pushing you under. Remember, when we feel that we are drowning, we become desperate and very strong to save our lives, our own life. Forget about you. You become no longer present in our mind. We don't mean to hurt the other person, but our desperation says that we must in order to help ourselves. And that's when it can become very critical. So, get in your rowboat. Row out to the person who is drowning and offer them a hand up. But it's okay if they say no. They're simply not ready. And they will get another opportunity at a better time. Okay, star 2, one last time. If you have an angel story that you would like to share with us. All right, everyone. That's all the time that we have for today. I am so grateful that you were able to be here with me today. Remember that this is the beginning of that 12-12 portal, and you can expect a beautiful infusion of unconditional loving energy in your life right now. Take advantage of it by letting go of all that which no longer serves you. And if you need help, if you are finding that it is too difficult to do this on your own, don't be shy. Send me a message, Marcia at Marcia Martin, the Heart Healer. Remember, it's Marcia spelled Marcia. I offer a complimentary consultation. Get yourself on my mailing list. Get inspired on a daily basis. Get invited to all of these master classes. And while you're signing up for the mailing list, sign up for your free consultation, your session that will help you move from victim to victorious. Thank you all for being here with me today, for allowing me to share angel stories with you. And before we go, I'm going to share one last angel story. I recently had to move for the second time, and I thought at the time that perhaps I had failed in being able to hear what the angels were saying. Because the place that I moved into, which was a big improvement on where I was living, suddenly became extremely toxic to myself and my children. And I said to the angels, gosh, I thought you had chosen this place for us. Every sign indicated that this was perfect. And it was perfect for the time being. But then they decided to do earthquake retrofitting, which means they were banging on the wall so hard that they actually made a big hole right into our house, because I guess the building was needing serious repair. But we noticed that we were starting to get really sick if we spent long periods of time there, and it was getting worse and worse and worse. So we looked around and found an even better place that wasn't available at the time that the first place became available. We looked around, found an even better place, and explained to the management that we were getting sick, and they offered to give us back the full security deposit. So the angels worked it out so that we had a place to live when we needed it that was perfect for that time being. But then when they decided to do the work on the building and the place was no longer suitable for us, for whatever reason, we were unable to process whatever they were stirring up with this reconstruction. When the building became no longer habitable for us, the angels brought us to the next place, which is even better than the place that we were in, and they are making sure that the security deposit, which I was sure we were going to have to say goodbye to, is being given back to us in full. That's why I tell you, it is absolutely wonderful to work with the angels and to trust them completely. Yes, I did hear them correctly. They did find the perfect place for us the first time, and now this second time. It was a little annoying to have to move, but it's okay, because we stayed flexible. This was not available when we were looking the first time. It did not come available until December 1st, which is when we were no longer physically able to stay where we were because of a reaction to the reconstruction. So until next Wednesday, I want you all to call on the angels every time you think of them, to open your hearts wide to receive, and to know that I am sending you my love. Thank you all for being here with me today.